Hello, and welcome back to the Holistic Hatha Yoga podcast. I'm your host, Kelsey, and I'm here to talk all things holistic Hatha Yoga today. Yes, how is this week finding you guys? We are just wrapping up, by the time this comes out, we'll be just wrapping up the 4th of July here in the United States, and that shall be fun. We've already started lighting some fireworks, so it's exciting. Big 250 years old this year, so very monumental, and we'll see what happens in the world. Um, Moving on from that, happy July. I'm very excited for this month. I can't believe we're already in the 7th month of July. This is wild. This is wild. But yeah, things are great. I just had another interview this week, and that will come out later this month probably, with a really lovely guest, and I cannot wait to share her with you. But without further ado, let's dive into today's episode. So today is Yoga Beyond the Studio. So we're kind of diving into holistic health as a lifestyle here. And let's just dive right in. And so what really inspired this episode was really thinking about why it is I do what I'm doing and the way that I'm doing it, in a lot of the ways that I teach yoga right now, which is online primarily. I thought that I was going to lose this big um, part of teaching by not teaching in person, when in fact I actually found the exact opposite. I've been able to go so much deeper with people because we are not in studio, and because we can take these things as we have time for them and can digest them and take them one step at a time and move through the system as it should be moved through, almost like going up a ladder. You can't go from the bottom rung to the top rung without touching the middle rungs. You need to follow the steps. You have to follow the path in order for these things to work for you. And so that was my frustration primarily with working um, in studios and teaching classes, was you had no control of your students. You had no control if people showed up one day or not, or one week or not, or every week or not. And so you could never really consistently build upon the practice. You could just do, the you can always build a practice to fit each level, of course, but you could never really dive into further things, because sometimes you might have a beginner, so you're going to start and make things a little bit easier, blah blah blah. Either way, anyway, I digress. So essentially, yoga is not being practiced unless it's being practiced holistically and fully. And just practicing asana or postures, which is what most yoga classes are in most studios, um, is only practicing one portion of the holistic practice, and is really, at that point, if that's the only part of quote unquote yoga that you do, it's really just the same as an exercise class or a Zumba class or any sort of aerobics class, a stretching class, a workout class. It's just that at that point, which is fine. You will get benefits from doing the practices and doing the asanas, but that's not even close to the full benefits that you could be getting if that's the only portion that you're practicing. And so I really just kind of was um, stewing on this as the fact of it is more of a mindset, and it's an awareness. It's a mental awareness. It's a being your own, how do I want to say this? Basically having your own soul watching from a separated place of your ego, and operating from a soul level place and not a ego level place. And so if you could think of it like we have our body, and then within our body is our soul, and our body is very like material in 3D, like you can touch it. Our soul is kind of like less touchy. It's more of like a vapor or like a light. Light is a better way to think of it. We are truly light beings, actually. Like we do emit light. This is true. This isn't like me just being crazy. Like this is scientifically proven. You can Google this, but humans do emit light. We can't really perceive it with the human eye hardly, but it's there. And so anyway, um, I digress yet again. Um, but really, we should be, but before we even practice yoga, we should be practicing the yamas and the niyamas, which is the code for the self and the community, how you operate with the self and how you operate with the community and the universe at large. And so if you don't know about those, go back to my episode, The Yogic Code, and that talks about the yamas and the niyamas. It breaks them down. There's either 8 or 10 of them. I can't, off the top of my head. I don't know. But I go over each of them in that one, in that episode. So go on back. I'll link that in the show notes too, the Yogic Code episode. But really, so before we even come on the mat, we need to be operating through the yogic code, through the yamas and the niyamas, because if we're not doing that, then we're not really doing anything. And this is really when it comes into living a spiritual life. And this is where it comes into living a life of not the physical realm and of the spiritual realm. And so once we're operating out of these yamas and niyamas, which are strikingly similar to the Ten Commandments. So before you go off and are like, well, I'm not gonna like adopt these crazy other religion or something. It's like these are very, very well known philosophies. And honestly, if you're fighting with any of them, like I invite you to look at that. I invite you to observe that with yourself because that's pretty wild. And I'd love to hear your reasoning. But anyway, the yamas and the niyamas are where it's at, and it's basically just like non-violence, non-stealing, being truthful, being of highest good, all good things, all good things. So we have to start there, and then the asanas are really, or the postures are great for the body, yes, and they give us very flexible joints. I laugh because I've always been a hyper flexible person. I'm what you would call double jointed, and it's been like that since I was a child. I had this funny, like, you could call it like cocktail table trick or whatever, or like a party trick. Let's just call it a party trick that my dad basically made me do all the time for his friends or whatever. Um, And they would, of course, be like drinking alcohol or whatever. So they'd be, a little bit buzzed, and he would be like, "Kelsey, come here and show them the thing you can do with your pinky." And when I was young, I could bend. I can't do it anymore. I am, let's see, probably about 2 inches, 3 inches away. But when I was young, I could bend my pinky backwards, all the way, and it could to touch my wrist. And it was pretty wild. And yeah, so I'd be like, okay, and I'd come in the room and just had my pinky back, and the adults in the room would just be like, oh my god, and it was funny. They laughed and they got a kick out of it, and I laughed and yada yada. Here we are. Of course, I became a yoga teacher. I was already bendy. Um, but that doesn't come without its problems. So like you might be like, oh, well, you're flexible, so whatever. It's like, well, it doesn't mean that I don't have issues. My knees have constantly given out on me my entire life. I have fallen just walking on straight, normal pavement, and like my knee gives out. I literally like fall on my face, and it just is crazy. For no reason really, other than like just loose joints and my muscles. I really need to be doing probably some more, not there's no probably about it. I need to be doing more strength training around my joints, especially my knees and elbows. Um, those are the big ones that are mostly loosey goosey, but really everywhere just as I get older. But anyway, during my third pregnancy, my left knee dislocated fully, like full blown dislocation. I had to like put it back into place myself several different times because the first time that it went out, I completely like blew it out basically. And I had to wear a knee brace and then but because I was pregnant, we couldn't do knee surgery or anything. So they were just like, all right, well, after your pregnancy, like 6 weeks after that, we'll do knee surgery. So during the rest of the pregnancy, my knee gave out or like dislocated. Meaning, and when I say dislocated, I mean my kneecap was on the outside, the external side of my knee, and my leg would lock out because once your kneecap is not where it should be, you can't really bend your knee very well because it's all fucked up. So you got to move the kneecap back into place before you can then move that leg at all. And oh my God, that was some terrible pain. And then surgery, knee surgery is not fun for anybody. So I feel ya if you've been there. And then recently, I 1 week ago, I dislocated my thumb. That was the first time that's ever happened. And I may or may not need surgery on that. We'll see. To be determined. But essentially, and that was a silly thing as well. I was closing a window. Now I was closing the window quite. I was trying to be fast. I was trying to be quite quick because a hornet had gotten in the house, and then I was trying to like get it with a fly swatter. And then I had missed a couple times and I was a little flipped out. And then it landed on the screen because my window was open. So it's like perfect. I'm not even going to mess around with killing it or trapping it. I'm just going to shut the window and let it figure it out. It'll die in the screen or it'll figure its way out to the outside world. So I go up to shut the window quickly because I was kind of scared of this hornet at this point. I had swung at him multiple times. He was kind of pissed off. And he looked really mean. So I went up to the window and I threw up the sash and I jammed my left thumb into the top of the window and the end part of my thumb, like where your nail grows on, like that part of the thumb bone, totally went like towards the kind of made a cockeye towards like the almost not a full 45-degree angle, but pretty turned off to the side, pretty angled there. But I didn't realize that at first. I threw it up and I thought I just jammed it. It hurt really freaking bad. And I was like, oh my God, blah, oh my goodness. And I was kind of shaking it. I was just like, son of a bitch. And I pull my hand up and I look at it and yeah, the end part was like cockeyed. And I was like, oh, that's not supposed to be like that. So I kind of pulled it and like put it back into place as gently as I could, but I like kind of felt it and heard it pop, back in and it's been straight, but it's still pretty swollen and I think I might have tore the ligament on the opposite side of there. So again, bendy joints might be great, but overly bendy joints are not great, and this is where it comes to like um uh moderation. Moderation is key. So like, yeah, I do my yoga and my stretches, but I also work on like strengthening poses and things so that I can try to help my joints. my fingers, I was not planning on that one. That one was a little bit wild. But this is my sign, I guess, to get back into the gym and weightlifting a little bit and gaining a little bit of muscle mass and putting a little bit of extra muscle on those joints to help them from dislocating. Anyway, back to the yogic path and holistic health. So practicing the yamas and niyamas, doing your asanas, and then also meditation is huge. Meditation is huge for awareness and understanding. But then also like in our relationships and in our communication and the way that we interact with others and the world, really needs to be on lock. It really needs to be kind of following these rules of these yamas and niyamas in order to get the full effects of the holistic health that is literally at your fingertips that you can get for free and that you can do for yourself for free. And then, this also kind of leads into like the foods that you eat, the things that you consume, uh, the books that you read, the shows that you watch, what you choose to accept and bring into your own personal reality and aura and field of awareness. You need to be you need to have discernment. Discernment is a really great word because it brings about that idea of self-discipline and understanding and realizing what is good and what is not good. And the things that are not rooted in good, and this is where awareness is key. We have to have awareness in order to have understanding. We have to know where that want is coming from and whether that want is a want or whether it's a need. That's a huge difference, understanding wants versus needs. That was drilled into me as a child, um, wants versus needs, wants versus needs. And, my dad grew up from his dad, my grandfather, whom I never met. He passed away before I was born. He was a Lutheran pastor, and so they were quite poor, and they very much just had their basic needs met, and he was a servant of the Lord, and that's what they did, and that was their life, and they were part of the community, and my grandfather was very happy with his life, and he loved it. He loved everything he did. And so my father was of quite the same mindset, but also kind of like rock and roll with a little bit of psychedelic hippie style wrapped into it. And so he was very much more spiritual and not so much religious, which I very much appreciated growing up. So, I mean, yeah, having our foods should be whole foods, I can't stress this enough. As much as possible, whole foods. And if you're going to eat meats, have them be like as clean as possible and as organic and as grass-fed and happy and healthy and local as possible, for the health of you and the planet. It's just best for literally everybody if we do that, if we follow those rules. And also, this leads into planting your own gardens and using your own herbs and gardens that you grow yourself, because that is virtually free. Buying some seeds is very cheap. I'm not saying to go and get a bunch of starter plants. That shit can get expensive. I don't blame you. But I literally always started all my plants from seeds. I'm a really crazy planter most of the time. I have started some things indoors recent years, and that's a pat in the back to me. That is growth. But in the past, I've always just been a seed in the ground lady, and it's always worked out really, really well. Knock on wood. And so, it doesn't have to be complicated. You can just like literally check the times and like plant when the planting's good and see what happens. Make sure you plant more than enough seeds so that you make sure something comes up, and you can always take out and thin them out as needed to make it more healthy. But growing your own plants is amazing. Growing your own, like tomatoes, cucumbers, broccoli. I'm trying to figure out broccoli. That one's been tough. My friend has good luck. I have not had great luck with it. It grows to a certain point, and then I'm having issues. But I'm in the midst of planning out an herbal garden right now. That's going to take up a nice big plot, and I'm very excited about that because I'm very excited to dry my own herbs for all my own herbal teas and have those all winter long, and this is just going to be lovely. So I'm very, very happy about that. And also, I had a friend come to me who has some arthritis problems, and so I'm working on quite a few things as far as salves and teas and tinctures and baths for her, to help with her skin issues. And I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited to see it, how that helps her, and how that can help others moving forward. So, yeah, just lots of good stuff that can be done very simply. And like I said, very cheaply. You can get seeds very cheaply. Just again, try to get like non-GMO, try to get organic seeds as natural as possible, and just go have a heyday. Screw grass, in my opinion. I am not like, I obviously love some patches of grass, that's nice or whatever, but like, honestly, not even really. Like, I do have some parts of my lawn where it's just a lot of like little baby succulents that just kind of grow all over the place. And that's lovely. It feels lovely on my feet. It produces really nice coverage. It produces cute little flowers. The bees like it. And I don't have to really mow it. It doesn't get tall enough to have to mow. So why on earth would you have like grass that you have to maintain that does nothing really? When you could have like something different. So I don't know. I'm not the biggest grass fan, as you can tell. And I'd much rather be growing potatoes and ginger root and burdock and all sorts of random stuff that can help make you live a healthy life and like sustain you and help you live healthier, better, longer. Um, Almost for free. All it takes is some tending, some tender loving care. I love that saying. Like, we use that a lot as children, like, oh, well, it just needs some love. Just needs a little bit of love. And it's so fucking true. You know, most things that are shabby just need a little bit of love, and they are looking a lot better, feeling a lot better, doing a lot better. And that can be an object, that could be a house, that could be a project, that could be a room, that could be a space, that could be a diet, that could be a relationship, that could be literally anything, you know. I have been, had wanted to find something fun to watch that wasn't just garbage. A lot of people just watch trash TV, and I get it, but as the Red Hot Chili Peppers sing in that um, song, throw away your television. Throw away your television. It's the same story over and over. Incubus has another song that's very similar that says like lights, camera, action. It's the same story over and over. It's the same storyline. Get out of it. It's all just a drama. And I do feel that way about of like a lot of fiction shows. Some of them can be fun, and I get addicted to certain ones. Well, not shows, but like series, aka Lord of the Rings. I can watch any of those one of three movies at any given time, and I'll be super happy about it. I love that world. I love that realm. I dig it. Anyway, where was I going with this? Oh, looking for a new show. I found a new show that I love. It's called Monty Don's British Gardens, and I'm now obsessed with Monty Don. I'm a huge fan, and I'm watching all of his things now. I've gone down this huge gardening rabbit hole, and I'm also like down this huge gardening rabbit hole of British gardens now because of Monty Don. And so I just sounded like a crazy person, but whatever. He just shows these extravagant gardens. And so, one, British people, keep it up. Love your gardens, love your landscapes. love how you don't love grass like the United States, and I'm so fucking down. So I'm ready to eradicate all the grass, use all the herbs, and like just fucking go. I'm ready to be a witch doctor and never use a pharmaceutical again. So I've been studying up on which herbs to start and which herbs go well and where, and kind of planning out the plots and seeing where. I'm just so excited. I'm just so excited for this big herb and possibly even tea garden. So we'll see what happens because I am a huge herbal tea drinker. I drink it all the time. I have various types at all times, and I would just love to grow it myself. I'm really excited. So, I've got some lemon balm and lavender that I'm about to harvest right now. I'm very excited about that, and yes, just yeah, I'm here for it. Here for it. So again, this is part of the lifestyle of like using nature and the things around you to better yourself and better your body. And I don't mean better yourself like make yourself better, but I mean like when you're starting to get sick, like instead of going to like the grocery store and going to the pharmacy, like literally like going to an herbal store and like getting the right herbal teas and tinctures and salves and things to do that type of healing because that is, in my opinion, the best way to do it. Um, I think it's a lost art, and we really, really, really need to bring it back, especially with Western medicine, the way that it is, the way that it's going. There's a lot of mistrust there, and there's a lot of reason for that mistrust. So I think a part of this is going back to our roots. And now I love Ayurvedic medicine. Um, But also, as I've been studying herbs more, I have been reading more and more about how you're supposedly, and I don't necessarily love this, but okay, I'll drink the tea, if you will. Um, but you're supposed to use herbs that are kind of more natural to your own continent or your own environment, which makes total fucking sense. So I have a couple of different herbal medicine um, guides for the for like Northern America and my zone type situation. So I'm very excited to use those because they're things that I can actually grow and use myself. And so, yes, that is a huge part of this. Drinking water, hydrating. I've heard of so many people be like, I just don't like the taste of water. It's like, holy cow. This is not something up for debate, for one. For two, not everything is a joyous experience. Like, you should be grateful just to be drinking clean water, for one. Number two, like, not everything you eat and drink has to be so delicious that it releases a bazillion endorphins. You know what I mean? And I just had this conversation with my 14-year-old daughter, actually, because we're having a hard time with, like, her eating whole foods. Um, like, or at least, like, just she wants like easy, quick lunches, but she won't eat a sandwich. So it's just like, oh my goodness, girl, what are we gonna eat? So, just going over like, um, yeah. Oh, essentially, I was telling her because she's like, well, I don't like this. I want this, and everything she was naming was kind of like sugar induced and or like from a fast food joint or whatever. And I'm like, no, no, no. Things that we can make from scratch, from home, using whole ingredients. And I'm like, not everything needs to give you a massive endorphin rush. Not everything needs to be the most amazing thing you've ever tasted. Is this food going to all be good? Yes, it's going to be delicious because we're going to use seasonings and it's going to be really yummy. But no, not everything needs to be wild. But we can just use some seasonings and whole foods and everything's going to taste lovely and make you feel great and make your body feel great and make you heal and make you be healthy and then you won't get sick as often and things are just going to be great. Better in general. So, As you can tell, I've been having this preaching moment with my, children, with eating their good food as well. Um, so like using herbs as medicine, is a huge one. And as cleansers, cleansers in your home, non-toxic cleansers within your home, aka using like essential oils and vinegars and alcohol, things like that, to clean your home. You do not need to buy Windex. I made a really awesome from home, non-toxic glass cleaner that worked amazing. I was like, there's no way this is actually going to work. It's going to be streaky and this is going to be bad. I'm going to have to go buy some blue Windex. And holy shit, it worked amazing. I was like, oh my God. And it was super cheap. I made it from stuff all in my kitchen. And yeah, I was super happy. So you can clean your home with non-toxic things, which helps again overall health. It helps our endocrine system, especially. Toxins in cleaners, specifically, and like our laundry detergents, and just a lot of things that we use, try to use like dye free and all the things like that, can really fuck up our endocrine system. And our endocrine system is in charge of pretty much everything. So it's in charge of like our hormones, which then tell all of the rest of our organs what to do. So if our endocrine system is fucked, everything gets fucked. So we can't let that happen, and we need to not use toxic things in our homes, around our homes, all the things. Don't be burning toxic candles in your homes. Please use like soy or beeswax based, non-toxic wax bases. And this goes into cleanliness. So even just cleaning your home, wiping things, making sure there's not too much dirt and grime. I mean, I have kids running around all the time, so there's always some dirt and things, but I'm still constantly sweeping, wiping baseboards, getting stuff really clean. And this is also good for the house's energy, the house's aura. It makes it feel better. I even just use I use hot water, Dawn dish soap, and eucalyptus essential oil. And I used a rag, and I wiped down like the walls and the baseboards of this one sitting room. And oh my God, it literally changed the entire room. It changed the entire room. It's the most amazing thing. And the energy shift was amazing. So try things like that, and you can use other essential oils that you love too. You could use sage oils, you can use lavender essential oils. I liked the eucalyptus essential oil. You can use really anything that you like to help clean your home and make it smell nice and really brighten your energy all around. This comes really just to like kind of close it up, coming back to like just treating others with love and respect as a soul instead of like as a human, you know? And as a human, not like don't do it as a human, only as a soul, but like soul first, recognition, and then human. And that will really make a huge shift for you, for everybody. And I think it makes a shift in our relationships and all of the things. So just being aware of the mind, aware of the ego. If we're aware of the mind and aware of the ego, we really can't get too upset about much of anything. So if we're one of those people where it feels like every day is a roller coaster ride, like we need to start checking the awareness with the mind, see when we start having these big reactions, why are we having the reaction, what's causing it, get to the root cause of it. Find your safety, find yourself, find your soul, and then move from that space, So, in order to do that, you've got to do meditation, do deep breathing, do belly breathing. You can go to, I think I did like my 3 favorite meditation guides or something like that, and the top 3 breathing techniques. Go back to those 2 episodes. I'll link them in the show notes. Those are amazing resources for tapping into using your breathing techniques immediately. And yeah, And if you have heard all of this and you're like, okay, but teach me how to do all of these things and in what order. That's exactly what I created Foundations of Hatha Yoga. This is basically my first big flagship course. I'm really, really excited. This is something that I created out of over a decade of practicing and coming into like the frustration of wanting to teach people from start to finish how to actually incorporate yoga into your everyday life, and how to use the ancient practices in an easy way without it being a yoga studio, without it being a big 1 hour seated morning practice, and using it in little increments throughout your day to help you live your most holistic, healthy, vibrant, aligned, soulful, rich life. So if you want to join me in that, you can join Foundations of Hatha Yoga right now on my website. Just go to holistichathyoga.com, go to courses, and you can sign up. I'm so excited for this. I've already had some people in there, and I'm just over the moon. I've been going through it myself, and it's been really awesome just touching back. And sometimes it's just great to go back to basics. I had some poses that were really tough for me that I didn't realize were going to be so tough for me, that I was like, oh my gosh, I need to do this. I need to do this one more. And it's always, coming back to these practices and where we find where we may have fallen a little bit out of alignment, giving ourselves love and grace, and just coming back to those practices when we need them. So using them for maintenance every day, but then also using them when we need them for specifics, having specific aches and pains and using specific techniques to solve those aches and pains holistically without consulting a drugstore. So if you want to learn how to do that, this is a 12-week course. It's $111, and I'm so excited to have you guys in there. I'm like seriously so stoked. It's it's a really lovely time. So see you in there if you feel so inclined to join. This is do at your own pace. And there's also opportunities to ask me live questions once a month. And you can also email me questions that I can email you personally back with answers, either video or audios, or simply email whatever's best for the question at hand. So I'm so excited to serve you in this way. So happy to finally open these doors. And yes, I hope you have a great week. Otherwise, I hope this help open the door a little bit. If you've only tried studio classes and you're like, I thought there's something cool, but like there's something more, and I'm not quite sure what more is there, but it's just they keep doing down dog. Come do Foundations of Hatha Yoga. Like that's where you'll find the deeper depths that you're looking for. We cover it all of it, all of it. And you can watch all these videos again, access them whenever you want throughout the rest of your lifetime of the course. If you ever forget how to do something, you're like, I need a review of this, or oh, I want to do that meditation. What is this one again? You could pull it up and you could access that. So all right, with that, one more quick note. Thank you to everyone who's rate, reviewed, and followed or subscribed to the show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have 5 stars. I'm so excited. I'm flattered. I'm seriously so happy and just over the moon. So if you have a moment, please do go over and rate the podcast wherever you're listening to it. It helps me so much to get discovered and help other people find the power of Hatha Yoga. And also, go check out my YouTube channel, Holistic Hatha Yoga, over on YouTube. There's tons of free YouTube videos over there for yoga asanas, yoga meditations, and breathing practices. So please feel free to jump on all those freebies. All right. One light, one love, friends. Bye. Om Loka Samista Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti 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 Om